EFT, or emotional freedom techniques, these days just generally known as tapping, is becoming more mainstream, but you're right, it is amazing how many people have not even heard of it, and is a beautiful little quick technique that can be used to help you lower your stress. It actually works by lowering your cortisol level.
Welcome to Zestful Aging, where I talk with fascinating, talented, and inspiring guests who reflect on the adventures and challenges of aging and who are living their lives with vibrance and purpose. I'm your host, Nicole Christina, psychotherapist, writer, and fellow Zestful Ager. And if you like this podcast, you'll love my companion courses, Zestful Aging, Simple and Sustainable Habits for Health and Longevity, and The Wisdom of Mindful Eating. Now, for 1 month only, I'm putting both of my online courses on a radical sale. Both The Wisdom of Mindful Eating and Zestful Aging will be $19.99 each. Both of these courses have received rave reviews. They're fun, straightforward, and have the ability to change your life in the direction of more peace and less stress about eating and around aging. No extreme diets or punishing exercise. More about creating habits that feel good and are sustainable, which is health promoting and leads to a longer, happier life. This offer will expire January 31st. Find out more at NicoleChristina.com. Well, I have my Jack Russell Terrier Sparky right beside me and my coffee in my hand. So let's begin. Today we have Ruthi Cohen-Joyner, who is gratefully addicted to yoga, meditation, and tapping. She's also a nutritionist, motivational speaker, certified in hypnotherapy, EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, and matrix re-imprinting. Her focus is on helping women create loving relationships with their mind, body, and soul through releasing the emotional weight that's holding them back from all of their deepest desires. That's such a beautiful statement. Welcome to the show, Ruthi.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm glad to be here.
You use a lot of different tools while you're working with clients, and I'm wondering if it would be helpful for our audience to just sort of take us through a little description. My experience with EFT is that it's wonderful and powerful, and not that many people know about it.
Yeah, it is interesting. EFT, or emotional freedom techniques, these days just generally known as tapping, is becoming more mainstream, but you're right, it is amazing how many people have not even heard of it, and is a beautiful little quick technique that can be used to help you lower your stress. It actually works by lowering your cortisol level. And so it just helps you to calm down. And Nick Ortner with the tapping solution puts it into 3 C's that I really like. I heard him speak once and he used these 3 C's, and that is that it helps you to calm, clear, and create. So the first thing it does is it calms your nervous system down, helps you to just feel calmer, and then you're able to think more clearly. So you're able to clear whatever is causing your current stress, or it is most helpful for clearing past traumas and unpleasant beliefs, memories, beliefs, blocks, and then create. So being able to step into creating what you want, and it's amazingly effective. I won't say it's perfect, that it works every single time, but it is amazing how well it does work.
And I say to my clients, I say it's free.
Yes.
You can dodge into the bathroom before your interview or your talk or whatever. And, it's just like this wonderful little thing to carry around in your back pocket. And I've had clients, in fact, I have a professor of psychology that I taught to tap, and he jokes that he has little bruises on all of his median points because he taps so much. But I
Funny.
agree with you. It's powerful, and I think what our listeners might like to know about it is it brings the brain into a higher state, so you're not in your reptile brain, right, in the primitive like fight or flight, where you can't think rationally, but it calms that part down so you can actually use your higher thinking. Is that the way you describe it?
Well, I admit I'm not the best at understanding the science of it, but yes, my
Mm-hmm.
understanding is it does calm the amygdala, which is the
Mm-hmm.
part of the brain you're talking about,
Yep.
or the and the limbic system is involved in there too. But it allows you to calm your emotions enough that you are able to think more clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and just want to give you a little analogy that I use, and that is what you were talking about, the fact that you can use it for yourself, you can use it every day, you can use it in stressful situations, is what I equate to like brushing your teeth. It's a level that you can do on your own that's very important and helpful. But there are times, like with dental care, that you need more help, that you might need a root canal or you might need a tooth, a filling filled or something like that. And that's when you seek more help. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, absolutely, you can do it on your own on a regular basis, but to do the deep healing work, you might need more help with that.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Um, let's think practically, maybe, and concretely for a moment. So, we have our post middle aged women going through all kinds of transitions, maybe some
Mm-hmm.
super caretaking of elders, maybe launching of kids, maybe reassessing partnerships or marriage, looking at their career, lots, as you know, lots and lots of transitions. Would this be a good tool to use, do you think, for a woman who is feeling overwhelmed? Can you give maybe an example of how this might be? You're giggling, so I'm
I
thinking you
am.
know exactly what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely. And I'm dealing with two of those myself right now, with my father-in-law being 90, and we're looking at the possibility of putting him in a memory care facility because of his dementia and not being able to keep him at home anymore. And our daughters are 20 and 23, so we're
You're
dealing with
right
that
there.
ourselves, yes.
Yep.
Um, but yes, the majority of my clients are 40 to 76. My oldest one is 76 right now. And most of my women are in their 50s and 60s and are dealing with many of the things you're talking about, and also with their own issues with getting older and what does this mean, and taking care of myself, and so many things. So, yes, absolutely. EFT is wonderful for dealing with all of those. And a couple of the things that I end up working with women on is learning to set boundaries and learning to say no. We are
Mm-hmm.
notorious about being wonderful caretakers for everybody but ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one issue that definitely gets brought up often.
And I'm just going to guess, and you can correct me, but if I've had clients that come from the South, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're in the South, there's even an additional cultural layer of being helpful and nice and sweet and gracious.
Absolutely.
So you got a little extra challenge, possibly.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Nicole. That is so true that we are the little saying, what is it? Girls are made of everything, sugar and spice and everything
Oh,
nice.
oh
Yeah, I
boy.
remember being brought up with that, just the thought that you be nice now. Say you're
Mm-hmm.
sorry, the little things that we say to children in the South. I assume everywhere, but yes, it is stronger in the South. You are correct.
Mm-hmm. So you have, perhaps, I know you have a nursing background and a public health background. I'm just like looking at all the tools you have in your
Uh,
toolbox.
Let me just correct you on that. Not
Okay.
nursing, nutrition. So
Nutrition.
yes, I'm a registered dietitian. I don't work as a dietitian anymore, but yes, that is my
Okay.
background.
Right. So you have, how does it go? You have a client contact you and say, I'm having a tough patch here, and then you reach into your toolbox, sort of judging what's appropriate for that? Or do people say, I want to learn to do tapping? Or how does the process work?
Yes to all of the above. So, my favorite tool out of all these is matrix reimprinting, which is an offshoot of EFT, where you literally go into the past and you, the now you, the adult you, helps the younger you. So, for example, let's just say you have a memory of when you were in kindergarten being laughed at by kids in school. In EFT, we would just tap on your feelings about being upset about that, possibly feeling embarrassed and shame. And remind me to mention shame a little bit more later, but I want to stick with this for right now.
Yes, I would love you to, because boy, as women, I just hear that a lot. But I'm going to
Yes.
make a note here. I will
Okay.
come back to that. But
Okay.
yes, so the matrix reimprinting. Okay.
Right. So if you can get a pretty clear picture, and it doesn't always have to be clear, but let's just say you can imagine, you can remember being in kindergarten, you can feel that being laughed at. I would say something along the line of, can you imagine seeing her here in front of you? And you would say, yes, I can see her. And so you, the now you, would go in and help the 5-year-old you like it's a play. So you would step into the scene like it's a play and that you can go in. So we pause everyone else in the play, everyone else in the scene, and the now you goes in and helps her. And so you might ask her, what are you feeling? Well, I'm so embarrassed. And we might tap on him feeling embarrassed. So we tap with the younger you, the 5-year-old you, to clear the situation for her. And then we let her change the situation in some way. So we let her change it in a way that she feels empowered instead of being left feeling like a victim at the end of it. And then we bring it into the future. So for instance, if you're afraid to get on stage, you're afraid to do public speaking because of this memory is one that came up when you started thinking about it. Then we would do what's called future reimprinting, which is we would see you actually doing the speaking event that you want to do from this empowered place that we created with your 5-year-old self. So it's a beautiful deep process of really healing the past and creating your future, all within hour and a half. My sessions are 90 minutes, so usually you can do that in a session.
Wow. I do not know about this. Is this out of EFT, or this from the originators of EFT many years ago, or how did this come about?
Actually, this was created by Carl Dawson, and that's Karl Dawson, Dawson, in the UK. And I don't remember the exact year. He has 2 books out about matrix reimprinting. But it started when he was doing an EFT training, if I understand correctly, with a client, and she made the comment, I could just see her right here, or I just imagine she's right here with me. And he said, okay, let's just tap with her. And that's pretty much how it started, and it's really grown now. So there's an offshoot of matrix reimprinting called matrix birth reimprinting that is Sharon King's child. And I just love matrix birth reimprinting. And so in that, we go in and redo your birth. So if you had a traumatic birth, we allow you to go in and change it in some way. And there are some YouTube videos of Sharon working with clients where you can see some amazing changes come out of doing this work. And there's also matrix past life reimprinting. So it's really grown, and I just love it. It is so beautiful. And since I have a background in hypnotherapy also, I kind of mix it all together. So when you were asking, do people say I want to do this or that, it kind of all gets glummed together and just whatever happens in that session.
You're spontaneous, and
Yes.
it sounds like you're able to say, oh, here's a good place to do this instead. You're able to be flexible.
Well, I kind of think of it as being divinely led. I mean, I just kind of go where I feel I'm meant to go, and have had some pretty amazing things happen. So it could be beautiful.
Oh, it sounds fascinating. And this is all, of course, based on the premise that any kind of psychological wound is held in our body. And the
Yes.
issues are in the tissues, as they say, right? It's not
Yes.
just in our heads, that it's really held in every part of our being.
Absolutely. And I want to take this a step further. Dawson Church is one of the big names in the EFT world. So really confusing. We have Carl Dawson with Matrix Reimprinting, and then Dawson Church, who is EFT Universe. Anyway, I heard him speaking on a summit, I don't remember how long ago, a month or two ago, and he truly believes that anxiety, depression, and PTSD will all be things of the past 100 years from now, that we will actually heal these things that are just very normal today with these forms of energy psychology. So that is just mind blowing and gives me a lot of hope.
Indeed, because these are paralyzing phenomenons that people,
Yes.
really stuck in, as you say, that they have this emotional weight that gets in the way, and it's hard. And I'm sure you would agree, as a clinician, to see people with so much promise and talent and, goodness getting really stuck because they're so anxious or depressed.
Absolutely. And I hope it's okay to share this with you, Nicole. Right now, I'm working on a program called Releasing the Weight of Shame.
Mm.
Because as I've been doing this work, I've realized that shame is at the base of so much of this. And you're not going to believe this, another Dawson, Connie Dawson. I know it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
She wrote a book called, hang on, I have it next to me, Life Beyond Shame, Rewriting the Rules. And I've been studying her book and learning about her processes. Anyway, that shame is kind of, it's insidious. It runs us in so many ways. So, like what you were talking about, people have gifts. In native cultures, that's called your original medicine. And I believe we all have our own gifts and talents that we're meant to share with the world. And I truly believe that women in their later years are really at the forefront of this in a lot of ways, because when we get past, or at least to some extent, get past caretaking others and are able to really focus on ourselves and bring our own gifts into the world, we have so much to offer to the world. And healing shame is such a big piece of this, because once you can heal shame and realize, wait a minute, there really is nothing wrong with me. I'm just as good as everybody else. And it just opens up doors. It's just amazing what's possible.
Thank you for bringing this up. This is so important, and I think most people experience this. And I've been a clinician for, I think it's 28 years now, and I'm struck by what you're saying is so true. I see mostly women, and I have a specialty in eating and eating disorders.
Mm-hmm.
And the shame is absolutely first and foremost. And I've thought to myself often, why is this? Where does this come from? And how do we untangle this, and how do we free ourselves of this? Do you have any sense or theory about why so many people, not only women, but harbor the sense of, I'm not quite as good as the next person?
Boy, that's a great question. And it does seem to be more with women. And I'm not saying it's not with men. I'm sure it is. But since I work with women too, I'm going to stick with speaking with women. So, in reading Connie Dawson's book and understanding shame a little bit more, my understanding is so much of this is in our early childhood. And as you know, I work with women with eating issues too, and I talk about releasing the emotional weight. Because the
Mm-hmm.
physical weight, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. We kind of need to
Mm-hmm.
get over that and just take care of ourselves in a loving way, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it is these days. Anyway, that in working with eating issues, we often run into physical and sexual abuse, or at
Mm-hmm.
least I do.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that as young children, especially, and it can be later, that we have taken on the shame of our perpetrators. And so, in addition to our own shame, we're carrying that weight also.
You mean
So,
energetically?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so you and we travel in the same realm. Could you just flesh that out a little bit more for our listeners? What does it mean to take on someone's shame energetically?
Let me think about that. So I think that the way that looks is as a child, a small child, you are not able to not bond with your caregivers. In other words, regardless of what kind of caregivers you
Right.
have, you have to,
Stuck with them.
exactly, to whatever extent, just to be able to survive. So to get any nourishment, getting your diapers changed, getting food, as babies, obviously, we can't take care of ourselves. And so, however it works, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but we feel like there must be something wrong with me. There must be some reason why this person treats me this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a quick example that's slightly different, but you'll understand. One of my earliest clients was a 13-year-old, and her mom wanted her to lose weight. And when we started getting into it, she told me that her parents had divorced when she was 2 years old and it was her fault. And there was nothing I could say at that point. I was still really new and figuring all this out, but to get her to understand that at 2 years old, it definitely was not her fault that her
Mm-hmm.
parents got
There's
divorced.
nothing she could have done at
Right.
2 that would cause a divorce.
Exactly. But that's an example of her carrying that shame. So at 13, she was still feeling responsible. She was still embarrassed and ashamed that she had caused her parents to divorce. Does that sort of answer your question?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think some people, and I'm a little bit out of my depth now because I don't know exactly how this works, but this what I've understood is that some people actually think that there's an additional level of energy that gets sort of transmitted, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but our brains, of course, have mirror neurons, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole reading going on and an empathic sort of link that we don't quite understand. We know something's going on, that we can really read people. There's also smells that we pick up on, gut instincts. And I think that there's a whole sub body of literature that say there's sort of an invisible thing happening that's transmitted that we still don't completely understand, but that's how some people see it.
I would agree, and I'm like you in that I don't totally understand all of that either. But I will say that the majority, if not all, of my clients understand and quickly identify with being empathic. So, those of us that are attracted to this type of work, I'll say, we're the empaths. We're the ones that are carrying the shame and pain of the world. And we could take this bigger. We could talk about this from a cultural standpoint. And you and I are both in the United States, but all over the world, there are different forms of cultural shame
Mm-hmm.
that some of us carry, or at least that's the way I see it. Um,
Oh, and you
that
think about some practices in terms of beating women who have gotten
hmm
pregnant through rape. I mean, there's a lot of shame directed towards women and girls throughout the world.
yes. Oh, yes. And I saw that Naomi Wolf has written another book on women, and trying to remember. I think she was the one who wrote Fat as a Feminist Issue in the 80s. I may have that wrong.
She wrote. Oh, I'm sure I have it. It'll come to me.
Yeah, that's not right. I think I've got that wrong. Fat as a Feminist Issue was Susie Orbach.
Yes, you're right.
Um,
We'll think of it.
yeah, but anyway, I saw that she'd written another book, and I listened to a sample of it on Audible yesterday, and she was basically saying that she feels like, yes, we have made strides as women, that at least we in the West have much more freedom than we did even in the 70s over our bodies, but yet there is such a stigma about weight and
Mm-hmm.
about not following the latest vegan, paleo, keto, whatever
Mhm.
diet.
Mhm.
That it's another way that our culture holds us down.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
whether you buy into that
absolutely.
or not, I can definitely see pieces of that.
Oh, absolutely. That the dieting mentality is about, if you're thinking about how many carbs you've eaten, you're not thinking about your power. And yeah, oh,
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. Sure. And
Oh
also,
yeah.
we're talking about, I was thinking about what you were saying and the question I asked, what's this about shame? And you talked about early trauma. And unfortunately, there's been, I mean, that is so widespread.
Mhm.
Sexual abuse is so widespread. But also this idea of companies selling us things because we're not good enough, that we
Oh
have to
yes.
be sweet smelling and hairless and, have perfectly coiffed hairdo and lipstick
Yes.
and bright white teeth. I mean, that is
Yep.
just fuel on the fire.
Oh, absolutely. And the whole body shame, especially as we get older, our bodies change. They don't look like 25-year-olds anymore. And, feeling, oh, so bad about our bodies. And it's just, like you say, it just takes our power away and keeps us from doing what we could be doing in the world.
Absolutely. So you have a client come in who's struggling, and then you do an assessment and you try to match the right tool to the particular difficulty. Is that how it goes?
Not exactly. It is more, so let's say a client comes to me and says she wants to lose weight, and I give her my standard spiel. I am not a weight loss coach. I don't really care about weight. I think that is what we're talking about, that's more of a
Right.
distraction from what's really going on. And so I might ask her questions like, well, how do you feel about yourself? What do you do for self care? Tell me a little bit about your childhood and your background. And I'm listening for all the clues. Well, my parents were divorced, or well, my grandfather, touched me, or whatever. Those are the things that grab my attention. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we finish doing our 30-minute free call, our discovery call, then I might say, well, if you choose to work with me, I am not promising weight loss, and we're not
Mm-hmm.
even going to focus on that. But we will focus on healing what you're still carrying from how you were treated as a child. And we will talk about learning to say no in your current situation. And we
Mm-hmm.
will work on having a healthier relationship with food, meaning not being so obsessed, like with the carbs or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Obsession of the week.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, unsustainable. And yeah, yeah, and the whole idea of health at every size,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Linda Bacon's work is just phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and so I really do work with my clients. In my little intro, you said I'm addicted to meditation and yoga and tapping, and that's true. I do those things on a daily basis, and that's what gets me through the day. I have my stuff too, just like everybody else. So I have
Mm-hmm.
just found the tools that work for me to get through my stuff much faster than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's, I guess, my goal for other people is that you're still going to have issues, you're still going to have life, but not to be so sunk by it.
right, exactly, to be able to manage it and know what it is a lot quicker and then address it in a loving, gentle, compassionate way. And so
Absolutely.
I know you've been asked this 10 million times, but I'm going to ask you again. I mean, a lot of my clients and a lot of my guests know exactly what to do. They know every kind of yoga. They know how to meditate. They may or may not know how to tap. They may know how to eat beautifully. And that, we're always struggling to do it. This idea of even abdominal breathing. It's
Hmm.
like the hardest part, I think, is to remember and to say this is important enough to put time aside to do. So, do you have any advice for us, and how does this become a non-negotiable?
Boy, I wish I had the magic wand to make that easy for everyone. Then I would be a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do, back to the shame thing again. The more I'm learning about shame, the more I'm realizing that two things, procrastination and perfectionism, are symptoms of shame. So, doing the healing work on the shame makes it easier to step forward, realizing I'm not going to do this perfectly. If I choose to do 5 minutes of yoga, it's better than no yoga. Or if I get outside and walk for 5 minutes, whatever it is, whatever speaks to you. That you're not going to do it perfectly. You're not going to look like the little pretzels in the gym who can do all the twisty bendy things. I don't know. It's definitely a practice, not a perfect. That it's doing what you can and being compassionate with yourself. Like you said, boy, self-compassion is at the key of all of this. And if you've been doing it one way for 50, 60 years, it's not going to turn around in 10 minutes, but it is changeable.
I love the idea of the little steps, the teeny, teeny little steps that just set you up for success. Even that, even the walking, even getting up from your desk every hour to walk
Mm-hmm.
to the, whatever your work situation is, or your home, just walk to the bathroom, get a glass of water, whatever, that we know that even that is good for your brain and your circulation.
Oh, yeah, and if you can walk outside, even better.
Oh, yeah. Amen on that. Amen on that. So, well, you're doing it sounds like you've got your toolbox. You've got a lot of um, really helpful tools, and we know they're scientifically proven as well. All the big ones, the yoga, the meditation, the tapping. What's next for you? What do you see on your own horizon in terms of taking your work to the next step?
Great question, Nicole. So, what I'm working on these days is growing my speaking abilities and reach. And I've slowly started on a book on shame, of all things. So we shall see where that goes. But I love the one on one work. I love, love, love being with people and helping them start to transform. And I am so blessed to get to see women change and make big, really make big strides in their lives. It is so beautiful. So I know our time is about up, but I wanted to know if we could do some just positive tapping. So this
I
isn't
would love to. Let's do
okay.
it.
So this isn't real EFT, and that in EFT we really do healing work on the past, but I love just positive tapping. And on my YouTube channel, I have don't remember how many, 3 or 4 different tap-alongs where people can do this kind of tapping that we're going to do today, because I really think it's very helpful just to raise your vibration with tapping. And I think there's one on there that's even less than 4 minutes.
And what is
So
the YouTube? What can they search for that?
it's just my name, Ruthi Cohen-Joyner. So if you
Okay.
go to, so I think you'll have that in your program notes, that
Yes.
so we can put the link there. But the first one that I did is under 4 minutes, and it's still my favorite one, even though it's 5 years old now. So we're just going to do a little positive tapping. So it's a little hard to see the tapping points, obviously, since this is audio, but I'm going to try to describe them. And I have on my website, actually, it's on the YouTube channel too, is a short little video showing you the tapping points.
Okay,
So
good.
so if people are listening to this recording and don't have a clue what I'm talking about, they could stop the recording and go watch that, and you'll have the link in your notes, I assume.
Yes.
So normally in EFT, or emotional freedom techniques, or tapping, we start on the side of the hand, lightly tapping one hand on the other. So this used to be called the karate chop point, if that kind of gives you a sense of where it is. So it's below the pinky finger on the side of the palm of the hand.
Sort of the
So
fleshy part of the hand.
yes, on
Okay.
the opposite side of the thumb, if that helps.
Yep.
And usually you do what's called a setup phrase here, and you would focus on whatever your tapping target is. So even though I'm so stressed out right now, even though I'm feeling so anxious, even though I'm so mad at my husband, even though I can't believe that car just pulled out in front of me, even though I really want that big chocolate cookie right now, whatever it is. So you have a tapping target, and you end it with a positive phrase that is usually something along the line of, even though I'm so upset right now, I love and accept myself, or I accept these feelings, or I'm choosing to accept myself. Something as positive as you can go and still believe it. We'll put it that way. And then I like to take a deep breath before we do a round. So after we do that, we would take a deep breath. And then I go to the eyebrow point first. So I tell people that this is the Botox point, so they know where I'm talking about. So right between the eyebrows, and you're just lightly tapping with 2 fingers, either hand, whichever feels right to you. And we do what's called a reminder phrase. So just using the example of I'm so upset right now, you would just say, I'm so upset. And then the next point is the side of the eye, and that's right on the bone, on the side of the eye, not way back on the temples. And the next one is under the eye, and again, you're just staying on the bone, right under the eye.
And how many times do you recommend actually doing the tapping?
Just long enough to say your reminder phrase.
Okay, so maybe 3 to 5
Yep,
taps?
3 to 5, maybe 7.
Okay.
There's no set amount. Tapping is very forgiving. So the next one is under the nose, so between the lip and the nose. And the next one is called the chin, but it's actually the little cleft between the lip and the chin. That little indentation there. And the next one is called the collarbone, but there again, you find your collarbone, and I like to do both sides when I do this one, but you can do just one side if you want. And you go down an inch and out an inch. So you find your collarbone on both sides, just in from your shoulders, kind of, and go down an inch and out an inch. So you're a little bit closer to the shoulder and a little bit lower. And most people can find a little indentation there. And that's the most powerful one to me. Other people have other ones that are their favorite. But I like this one doing it one-handed when I'm driving in areas that are uncomfortable for me to help keep me calm. So anyway, the next one is under the arm, and it's down at the bottom of the bra line. And then the last one we're going to use today is the top of the head. So there are wrist and finger points, but we're not going to mess with those. So just right on the crown of the head. But since we're just going to be doing positive tapping, we're not actually going to do the side of the hand today. We're just going to start right at the eyebrow. So if you will, Nicole, be my echo. So I'm going to say a phrase, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat it after me, and then I'll be saying the points. So you don't need to repeat the points, just the phrases that I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. And one last thing I want to say is that when we really do tapping, we do what's called a suds level. So I just want everybody to kind of get a sense of how you feel right now. So 0 to 10, 10 being I am so stressed out, I'm so upset. 0, oh, I feel wonderful, I feel great. Just kind of get that number before we start.
Okay. Your baseline.
Yes, your baseline, exactly. And actually, I'm going to say one more thing and then we'll start. And that is that it is very common to sigh, to yawn, or to even burp. Those are actually good signs of energy movement when you're doing this. So don't be surprised if that happens. So we're just going to do a quick round. So I'm going to ask everybody just to take a deep breath. And then lightly tapping on the eyebrow point. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you to kind of sit straight and tall in your power pose, your Wonder Woman pose, sitting straight. And now starting to tap. I choose to release and let go of all blocks.
I choose to release and let go of all blocks,
Negative thoughts,
negative thoughts,
fears and worries.
fears and worries,
Side of the eye, letting them all go now.
letting them all go now.
Under the eye, forgiving myself and others.
Forgiving myself and others.
Under the nose, letting go of the past.
Letting go of the past.
Chin, letting go of anything that no longer serves me.
Letting go of anything that no longer serves me.
Collarbone, feeling emotionally and physically lighter.
Feeling emotionally and physically lighter.
As I release and let all this go.
As I release and let all of this go.
Under the arm, letting it all go.
Letting it all go.
Top of the head, knowing that I am okay exactly as I am.
Knowing that I am okay exactly as I am.
Back to the eyebrow, feeling safe and secure.
Feeling safe and secure.
Side of the eye, seeing myself filled with love and joy.
Seeing myself filled with love and joy.
Under the eye, remembering that anything is possible.
Remembering that anything is possible.
Under the nose, and that anything that is possible for anyone.
And that anything is possible for anyone.
Is possible for me.
Is possible for me.
Chin, knowing that I am co-creating the life of my dreams.
Knowing that I am co-creating the life of my dreams.
Collarbone, feeling calm and confident.
Feeling calm and confident.
Under the arm, feeling energized and abundant.
Feeling energized and abundant.
Top of the head, bringing positive energy into everything I do.
Bringing positive energy into everything I do.
Eyebrow, being a radiant light.
Being a radiant light.
And letting my light shine in every situation.
And letting my light shine in every situation.
Side of the eye, serving from my heart.
Serving from my heart.
Under the eye, feeling truly blessed.
Feeling truly blessed.
And being a blessing in my world.
And being a blessing in my world.
Under the nose, feeling so good.
Feeling so good.
Chin, filled with love and joy.
Filled with love and joy.
Collarbone, knowing that I am beautiful.
Knowing that I am beautiful.
Under the arm, knowing that I am powerful.
Knowing that I am powerful.
Top of the head, and I am guided and protected at all times.
And I am guided and protected at all times.
All right, stop tapping, put your hands over your heart, and just take a deep breath. Just breathing in all those good feelings. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to here and now, allowing yourself just to feel good.
Now, when you do this with a client, Ruthi, do you also experience a benefit of this?
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
It's called borrowing benefits, and yes, it's very helpful for clinicians to
So it's sort of a parallel process where they're doing the work they need to do, but you're also feeling, the results of this. You're saying the words, and you're in this space with them.
Absolutely. And it is funny how the tapping works, that it literally, in my mind, it just kind of sets it in. It brings it into your body in a deeper way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit better than positive affirmations in my mind. Mm-hmm. But I do want to make it clear, though, that this is not real EFT. This is just positive tapping to be uplifting. Real EFT is where we go into healing whatever is really bothering you. Mm-hmm. It's the idea that if, I hate to be so blunt, but if your dog pooped on the floor and you just threw a rug on top of it, it's still going to stink, right?
That's an excellent analogy as I look over and see my Jack Russell. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you still have to pull the rug back. You still have to clean it up. You still have to deal with what's there. Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Any other last words that you'd like to share with our listeners?
just to have hope. I am so grateful that I get to work with women in their 60s and 70s and see their lives transformed, even when they may feel like, well, I'm so old, what's going to change for me? First of all, 60s and 70s are not old, but just so much is possible. We can feel so much better, and we truly can make a difference for ourselves and those around us by doing our own work. So I hope everyone listening will do whatever you can to take care of yourself in a loving, compassionate way.
And that is a beautiful message. Could you also repeat what the your contact information is for people who would like to learn more?
Yes, so my website is yourtappingjourney.com. That's yourtappingjourney.com. And my Facebook group is A Journey to Self-Love. I would love to have people jump in, A Journey to Self-Love. And yeah, I have a Facebook group, the YouTube channel, which is just my name, Ruthi Cohen-Joyner. And there's some interviews there, mainly around weight stuff. That's kind of where my heart is too, coming from being a nutritionist. And of course, I got into all of this because of my own eating and weight issues. So there's some interesting. If anybody decides to listen to one of those interviews, I would love that, because we talk about how your birth affects your weight. We talk about how your past lives might affect your weight. So there's some really interesting stuff there, and about sexual abuse and how it affects weight. So all kinds of fun things in the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Do you work with people virtually?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
that's
most
great,
of my clients are by Zoom.
Oh, really? So you don't have to be in North Carolina to access your work.
No, I'm grateful. I think my furthest client was in India.
Oh my goodness. That's
and
a
Brazil
time
and
change.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Like you were talking about New Zealand.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I still can't quite understand that.
Yeah. You're right. In Australia. I've worked with people in Australia.
Well, I had one that it wasn't only that they were the next day, but it was the next day plus 3.5 hours.
Oh, yes.
So different places, right, in Australia. Yeah, I had to reschedule that a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, the one I had in India was on the half hour too. I was like, okay, I didn't even know that we had time zones and dipped by the half hour, but
that seems cruel. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Ruthi, and I think your understanding and your compassion really just come through, and you have so many tools to help people.
well, I feel extremely blessed and grateful to play and have fun and do this work. And I thank you for having me on today, Nicole.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. If you like the podcast, please share with some of your friends. I love to hear from my listeners. Send me an email at nicolechristina.com. And please consider becoming a patron of the show. You will get access to exclusive bonuses, and you will be part of the Zestful Aging community. Keep us going strong. Go to patreon.com/zestfulaging. See you next time for another episode of Zestful Aging.